Is here.
TRIXX, is that you? No, I can't get my other phone to work. See? Oh, man. TRIXX! TRIXX!
Yo,
TRIXX!
buddy, can you try to sound happy, bro?
I don't know. I'm like,
Can you try to have some positivity in your voice, bro?
you know what? Since you're here now, I'm ecstatic. I'm just gonna
I
put
would
it
hope
out
so,
there.
because you have nice reggae music playing in the background, and you sound
Yeah.
sad, bro. You okay?
You know, well, I've been off work for like, 3 weeks. Things are getting hard for everybody, and
Really?
I'm just but I think that there's a silver lining at the end of at this tunnel right here.
You gotta
You know.
look, man. I mean, I'm starting to, all of us entertainers are feeling it, but at the same time, it's like, this is what it is. You know what I mean? To sit and
Yeah.
wallow in it and like be depressed that doesn't help. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I try to encourage everybody, like, yo, you just need to like keep your mind busy somehow, whether it's like DJs, you guys got the music outlet, right? You guys can spin
Yeah.
songs, you guys can go online, play music for the people. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, video games, whatever keeps your mind occupied, you know what I'm saying? Comedians write jokes. Like I hate turning on the news and not hearing any good news. But at the same time, bro, I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? I got my
Listen,
health.
that's the greatest thing right now. That's the absolute greatest thing. Listen, if you don't know who I'm speaking to, you must be sleeping under a rock. I'm sleeping to one of the greatest comedians that I've
I
ever
like
seen in my
greatest.
lifetime. The greatest.
Greatest
I
is dope.
mean, you know what I mean? Like, listen, I've seen you achieve and make and cross barriers that a lot of us have not seen before in a comedian. I appreciate you for what you've been doing. You've been doing an absolute fabulous job. I think that the world is underrated you. I think that you need to be bigger and evolved.
I mean,
You know.
I appreciate you saying that. I mean, part of that is there's a few variables. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be some of that is my fault. I know throughout my career I've been my own roadblock, you know what I mean, at times.
Okay.
But it's just a matter of getting in front of the right people. I mean, I think things happen in time. It's just a matter of you being ready for it when it happens. You know what I mean? So, I'm out there in the States, England, various places working, and it just takes the right person to see you. I think it's all about timing. You know what I mean? Like, God has a plan. You know what I mean? So you just have to, it's not my job to ask questions, you know what I mean? It's my job to just kind of like be ready for when the success comes. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I just stay working, bro, and be ready. You know what I mean? Obviously we can't work during now, but at least my hands are clean.
Yeah.
Right? It's not important. My hands are clean. I have plenty of toilet paper, so I'm good
and this
there.
is what's important. I think this is what's important. The toilet paper situation has got to be ridiculous, bro.
I think people are stupid, man. I really do. Because at the end of the day, this virus attacks your immune system, bro. It doesn't attack your bodily function. It doesn't attack you if you got a cleaner, if you wipe or you don't wipe. That's not what this does. And a lot of you guys that are buying up all the Lysol and buying up all the wipes, bro, if it was that simple where Lysol can end this, then we wouldn't have a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? All you guys walking in a grocery store and clearing the aisles up Lysol, thinking like, oh, yeah, sure, your house is going to be disinfected, but we've been doing that from time and the virus still came. The fuck are you doing? Like, people, like, I get it. When we panic as humans, we just do dumb shit because we don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? You got Uber drivers masking up. You don't even know if they can see driving. Just masked up, garbage bag all over. Some of these guys saran wrap their cars and shit. And it's like, listen, that's if it was that simple, to get rid of the virus or avoid the virus, then we'd be spraying Lysol into the air, bro. There'd be no pandemic. You know what I mean?
100.
This is deeper than a virus, bro.
Deep, deep, deep. Listen,
Deeper.
TRIXX, let's start it from here. You did a viral video, well, a video that went viral. Do you remember that one? I think it was snowing. Was that one of your first ones on a especially hot day?
No, it was October. It was October.
Okay, so tell me about that.
So it was October. I'll never forget it. I was doing there was a show in Edmonton. It was an all-black show, kind of like what they do in Toronto, the all-black show with Kenny Robinson. And I'll never forget it. It was the day before I was supposed to go to Vegas, and I was going to the store, and I go outside, and it was like snowing, and I had never seen snow in October. I'm from Toronto. Yeah, I've never seen snow. It was October 9th. I'll never forget the date, and it was snowing, and I just got so mad, and I just pulled out my phone, and I did a rant, and the rant was real. Like it wasn't. Right. It wasn't meant to get followers. It wasn't meant to do any of that. And then I went to the store. I come back, and my phone was like blowing up for whatever reason. And then people are like, yo, your shit's on World Star. Yo, your shit's on Baller Alert. And I'm like, what? What's on Baller Alert? And then there was a video. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. This, out of all the videos I've done, this is the video that busts me? Okay, whatever. Yeah. I don't argue. Then TRIXX Songs shares it, and that's when. That's what once you know, all it takes is a celebrity. Yeah. I mean, once TRIXX Songs shares it, and then George Tataki shares it, and then I'm like, okay. Then I every time I would refresh my page, my followers go up, and I'm like, I go, is this it? Is this the moment? This is what it feels like to go viral? I've never gone viral before, so I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then my Facebook was like 1 million. It was like at 2 million views in like an hour. So I was like, okay, so this is what Drake feels like. This is what it's like to make it for an hour. That's all it was.
So it wasn't a planned thing. It was like you were upset.
No, it wasn't, bro. I think it was because the funny thing about that video, bro, I did that same video 2 years before. Like when I was living in Toronto and I flew out to Edmonton to do a show, I was staying at my boy's house, and that's where I shot the video. It's in front of the same building, and it was snowing in April at the time. Snowing in like May, April in Edmonton. I did the exact same video, and it got nothing. Nothing. No people. I mean, some people laughed, but it didn't go viral. But I think this time it was because, you know, Donald Trump there was the election, and I used references, or I said something about Game of Thrones, and it was just the timing of the video too. So that's why it went viral this time. Cause I was like, that's funny, man. It's all about timing, man.
You know, people didn't know, because a lot of people always thought you were Toronto, but you moved to Edmonton, and
I am Toronto. I moved to Edmonton like 3 years ago, and you know, I mean, nothing's changed. I'm still Toronto. I just happen to live in Edmonton, and then
you don't feel any difference because Toronto is supposed to be the mecca and the vibe of everything. You don't feel any different than when you're out there.
There's good and bad differences, bro. Like, first of all, I miss Caribbean food, good Caribbean food. You know what I mean? I miss that shit because there's none here. But there's also uncharted territory here. Like, you'll make more money in Edmonton than you make in Toronto. That's facts. Anybody can argue that if they want to. But you will make more money out here than in Toronto, period. Is Toronto the better city? Huh?
As an entertainer, as a comedian, you're out there way more than this city that has different.
Realistically, as a comedian, you should be making more money in Toronto. But Edmonton has more, like, for example, it's blue collar here, right? So if you're selling your shit after a show, more people are gonna buy it here because people make money here. People aren't afraid to spend money here. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I've sold, like when my album came out, somebody bought a box. That'll never happen in Toronto. Do you know what I mean? Like, people buy them in droves because I don't know what it is. Maybe the vibe here is different. It's the west side of Canada. It's more laid back.
Yeah.
It's a little different,
Yeah.
but everybody makes money. I'm not saying that it's a better city than Toronto. I think Toronto's a better city, hands down.
Okay.
But
Right.
Edmonton, in terms of like money, I think there's just more money out here to get.
Do you feel appreciated more?
You definitely are more appreciated. I would say I'm more appreciated in Toronto now that I'm gone. Do you know what I mean? I think, and that's been the thing of Toronto. Like when you leave and you're not as accessible, then Toronto has more of an appreciation for you. Whereas if they see you all the time, you know, you're accessible. It's like, nah, I don't need to go to TRIXX show today, man. I can see him at Yuck Yucks next week. Like, if you're too accessible, then Toronto doesn't really fuck with you as much as like think of anyone who's big in Toronto, or think of anyone who's like Drake, Russell Peters, all these guys who have gone on to great things. Why, you know, even when Cardinal reps Toronto so hard.
Yeah.
When he's gone, when he was with Akon, and he was gone for that time, people loved Cardinal, and I think people still do. But when he's in the city and they see him all the time, then it's like they're less inclined to support you because they see you all the time. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Listen, you used to do radio shows, various radio shows. I mean, you've been on radio for it was for a minute. Because of the I don't know, is it because of the exposure now that you don't have time? Did you not like it? What was the changing in format of that?
Radio, I don't know, man. Radio's weird for me because I had a love and hate relationship with radio.
Let it out. Don't hold back nothing.
I'm not gonna hold back. I don't need to hold back. Like the original Flow, obviously, you know how that went down. They fired me, and then I went on the whole fuck Flow tirade. And it, obviously, as I'm older and in hindsight, I wish I did that rant better. Because that was just venom. That was also a thing that wasn't planned. I didn't plan to go to the show and I'm going to do this thing about Flow. It was just, that was pure venom and anger. And whoever was in the warpath of that was it. I didn't care. G98.7 is in my opinion is a worse divorce, because I actually believe it's a worse. I still hate G98.7. I hate him, and I don't care who's there. But I mean, I love certain people that work there. Like I love, obviously, shout out to Specs and Mark and Jam, and I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about the powers that be. And I don't want to disrespect Fitzroy now that he's passed, because I don't want to disrespect the people who have passed. But that relationship, I believed in G. Like I really did. I thought G could do the things that the original Flow couldn't do. And I thought we were going to take Toronto to heights, which is what I believe about Vibe 105. I think Vibe 105, sometimes I really wish that Vibe 105 was on their frequency and then G was on the college frequency, because I feel that Vibe represents and embodies more of what Toronto needs in an urban radio station. That's what I believe. And I'm not being biased. That's just how I feel. But
if I agree with you, I'm going to be biased. So,
but G98.7, not talking about the on-air talent, the people who ran G98.7, for some reason, when you give certain people nice things and it becomes more about the power than the station, that's where you have your problem. And that's what I felt with G98.7. There are people who were in love with the power and the walking around the city like they run shit, as opposed to what the station is supposed to represent for the people. And that's why I don't like G98.7, the station, not the people. I got nothing against Little Red or any of those guys. They're all great at what they do, and they all got to eat. You know what I'm saying? So much love to all those guys. But I just, my relationship with G, you can't even say my name on that station. That's how petty they've gone. But whatever, it is what it is.
Vibe is your home. Vibe has a home for you. Don't worry about it.
Listen, shout out to Randy, and I love what Randy's done with that station. Randy's one of those guys, and that's what I'm saying. That's all it takes, is you need someone who cares about not just the radio station, but you need someone who cares about the culture, and you need someone who cares about the city and what radio represents for the city. 105.5 is legendary, bro. It's like, 88.1, 105.5. These are, even though they're college stations, they embody Toronto more than anybody knows, bro. Like, this is years of culture in the city. So Vibe 105, I really hope people don't take that station for granted, because it represents so much of the city, bro.
I've been, no idea, man. Well, I've been arguing for years about this, because I am on Vibe and I represent Vibe, and
absolutely
you were on Vibe, and like, I just think we just join as a family. We're linked because we care. We care about what the streets say. We care about what the people say. But if I say it, they're not going to believe me. But thank God for you.
No, I'll say it, and I mean, and it's I don't, whoever wants to take offense, that's their business. But Vibe 105 will always have a place in my heart. 105.5, that frequency will always have a place in my heart as a Torontonian. That will always, even though the 88.1s as well, like all those college stations. You have no idea what those places represent to the culture of what Toronto embodies. People need to understand how important those stations are. I know they're not as big as the money stations like the Flows and all that stuff. And shout out to Flow. They're doing their thing. But people really, in terms of community and in terms of what we are in the urban culture, Vibe 105 hands down is so important to Toronto, bro.
Let me ask you, as we talk about Toronto and our city that we love, I'm not going to hold. I've seen Russell Peters move away to have homes in LA. Drake had to, Jim Carrey had to, a lot of people. But you stay here. You've been here, and do you have any intentions of leaving? But you've repped the red and the white strongly.
No. I mean, I've lived in Canada for most of my career. I currently am moving, or I have moved, but I'm quarantined in Edmonton. Can't go nowhere until the travel ban is lifted. Once it's lifted, I'll be back in Vegas, which is my new home.
Okay, so you are moving to Vegas now. So you are moving.
Vegas. No, Vegas is a done deal. Yeah. So, but to answer your question, like, Drake, Russell, all these guys, unfortunately, that's what has to be done. If you have bigger goals, you're talking about, you just named two people that had major goals for their careers. Drake didn't want to just be a rapper. Drake wanted to be the rapper. Yeah. And that wasn't going to happen in the ceiling of Canada. Unfortunately, we don't have the resources, and Canada doesn't even really have black millionaires. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have the resources to create a black superstar. We'll create them, but to harness a black superstar in Canada, there's just no resources for that. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to get big, you got to take your talents globally. No one's dissing Canada, but especially for comedians, a black comedian, name me one black comedian from Canada that's on television, on Just for Laughs constantly. Name me one. You can't name me one. You know what I mean? Because the powers that be here, they like to dictate and show you what they think you should see on television in terms of comedy. So you have to go where you're appreciated. You have to go to England, or you have to go to the States, where they know what to do with a talent. They know what to do. They know how to take that talent and manifest it. We don't know how to do that, unfortunately. That's why everyone who's big from Canada had to leave.
We're gonna lose another great statue.
Look how long we've had. Jesse Reyes has been here for a minute. Alicia Cara has been here for a minute. Drake was here for a minute. You know what I'm saying? All these, Justin Bieber, this motherfucker's from Stratford, and I'm talking about the biggest pop star in the world, right? But would they all reach their peaks in staying here? No.
But now that we know, we hear you talk. People hear you talk. Now that we know, is there any, I know you say Vegas is a done deal, but is there
Right.
any way to save this? Is there any way to change this? Is there any way to ensure that, you know, we put you on a level of, because you're on a respect level. I think you have to be one of the most respected. If you're not, they're idiots. If you're not, they're fools.
The only way to change it for Canadians, the only way to change it, man, is Canada has to learn to appreciate their own talent, and they have to take their talent and support their talent on a level. When I go to England, and I'm in my hotel room and I turn on their countdown, their music countdown. Let's say it's top 10. I promise you. Yeah, you'll see your usual suspects. You'll see your Drakes and you'll see your Jay-Z's and you'll see your Rihannas, right?
But they have English.
But I
artists.
promise you, you will see their artists all over that countdown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Any England, all those English artists, that whole grime movement, that's theirs. And they're proud of that shit. They're not trying to be American. They have their own wave over there. So a lot of their artists don't have to leave because they have their own movement there. So they can just tour their country and be stars. And I don't have to talk about the States. We don't have that in Canada. You have the odd guys like the Classifieds, like a guy like Classified, the rapper. He's got to do it on an underground level, you know? But, you know, he tours Canada and he makes a substantial amount of money, but not everybody knows who he is, right? Unless you're in the underground hip-hop world. If Canada was to take their artists and appreciate their artists, or if we had some kind of wave or a sound here and we just contained our sound and put our sound on a pedestal where, like, you know, where, you know, artists can come out here and blow up here and tour here and be major, then you know, we wouldn't have to leave. But that's not the case. Canada we like to breed stars. But we don't like to breed stars. We like to claim stars. That's what we do. They'll come from here and we won't say shit until they blow up. Case in point, and I'm not calling no names, but you look at Jessie Reyez. I've never, when she was coming up, I never saw anybody tell me about her. I never saw anybody post about her music or anybody tell me how great she is. It wasn't until she blew up and became the star that she is. Now everybody's telling me about Jessie Reyez, and that's my point. That's my point. Why are we waiting until we have to wait till America tells us our stars are good? That's the problem with Canada. We have to wait and be told that, oh, Jessie Reyez is it. Alicia Cara is it. You know, Drake is it. Justin Bieber, Michael Bublé, all these, Shania Twain. Shania Twain is one of the biggest country stars in the world. Came from this country, but we had to wait until America told us that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's a shame. It's a shame because I'll go to America and I'll sit in a bar and they'll be like, we love this person and we love this person. They're naming all these Canadian artists. And I go, I wish I could sit in a bar in Canada and hear that about our artists before they blow up. I wish. But you'll never hear that.
You know, I'm going to give you a scenario. It's like when I play on the radio and I break artists and I give artists the opportunity, especially my Canadian artists, I give them the opportunity to be heard. Right. But if Mataran or Stone Love comes along and plays it, everybody jumps and goes crazy. If I play it, it'd be like, why?
And it's sad, right? Because I was just having this conversation with somebody when I was doing live 2 days ago. I was saying to everybody, you know, obviously a lot of people are going through this Corona shit, right? Yeah. And everybody's looking for ways to make money. I'm selling an album. I'm reselling my album for $10. I go, I need 100. I go, I need 100 people to buy it so that I can support myself through this whole situation. We all need help, right? And people have bought it. Don't get it twisted. I don't want to disrespect anyone. But I go, I need 100 people. I have over 100,000 followers. And I go, I only need 100 to buy it. Do you know how many people have bought the album? 40 in the span of 2 weeks. Now, if Drake comes on live, millionaire Drake, a man who clearly doesn't really need money, if that guy goes, my son needs a pair of shoes, And I need you guys to give me $2 each. I promise you.
Million.
I promise you. Everybody will run and throw money at Drake like it's nobody's business. And that's the sad reality. Why? Like even look at you DJs. D-Nice. D-Nice played music, okay? He did. So did Starting From Scratch, bro. So as a matter of fact, Starting From Scratch, I think played better. But celebrities were watching DJ Nice. You know what I mean? D-Nice. Celebrities were watching him. So that's why he made the news. And that's why he broke the internet. Because Michelle Obama was watching. And Janet Jackson was watching. It's all about influence, bro. And it's all about status. Influence. You see what I'm saying? You did the exact same thing another DJ did. But because his reach is bigger than yours, and because he's perceived as a bigger DJ than you, people think it's better to acknowledge that he did it and not you, even though you guys did the exact same thing. That's the sad reality. That's the sad reality, bro.
It's hard in Canada. It's hard. It's hard.
It is.
It's hard.
And I don't want to listen. I don't want to act like I don't get no support from Toronto, because of course I do. I get mad love from Toronto. I do.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to ignore the truth. The truth of the matter is we love celeb. For example, I was on live one time. I must have had 30 people watching. And I'm grateful for each of those 30. Somebody came on and was like, yo, Tory Lane's live is better. He's got 45,000 people watching. I'm like, bro, you're talking about a global superstar.
Come on.
Versus a lowly comedian. Of course he has more followers than me. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's what I'm talking about. That's the mentality of people who live in Toronto. Not just Toronto, people who live in Canada. That's how we think. We think status and influence trumps talent. And it's like, bruh, that's why I keep telling people, man, appreciate. You got to give people their flowers when they're alive. You know what I mean? You got to do that. You got to give, because even King Rain was mad talented. But a lot of you guys are giving him his flowers when he passed. Yeah. He didn't have that same energy when he was around. Do you know what I'm saying?
I say it all the time. More people at a funeral than at your birthday party. You know, this is what it is, you know?
It's not, and that's sad, bro.
It's so terrible. Sad to me. It's terrible.
I looked on live and I saw, I mean, Scratch is incredible, but
super incredible.
Yes, he was playing. He's incredible, and a lot of Dr. J. All these guys were playing great music. I saw a bunch of you guys playing. Fire Kid Steamy, what's his name? Tyrone. I saw all y'all playing music. You know what I mean? But only the people with the high numbers were getting the praise. Only the people with over 1,000 viewers were like, "Oh man, Starting From Scratch is incredible." Like, yeah, Starting From Scratch is incredible, but bro, so was this guy. So was this other guy. He's playing music too. Do you know what I mean? We don't. I don't like the fact that Canada is behind when it comes to supporting their own, and that's and until that changes, anyone who wants to be a star or anybody that wants to be big on a global level, you're gonna have to leave Canada. The ceiling's too low.
Damn. TRIXX, let me ask you. Because we're behind the scenes. For those who are logging on, and listening and flying through, this is comedian TRIXX, who I think is one of the most extraordinary talents that we have for Canada on social media and doing his thing worldwide. Let me just ask you, with the come up, was there a time or a show that you remember, man, I'm not going to make it? Like, you thought that I'm not going to make it. Like, you got,
bro.
Boom!
Oh, man. Boston. The first time I did Boston.
Tell us about it.
Bruh. And see, let me explain something to everybody.
Yeah.
Entertainment is the one field that can convince you that you're better than you are. Trust me on this. Do you understand? It's very easy to convince yourself that you're better than you are. And then you put yourself in situations that you're not ready for. Me personally, when I came out, I thought I was the man. I was arrogant as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I was the man. I thought no stage was no problem for me. So I had a good set in New York, right? Who's not going to feel himself after conquering the Mecca? You know what I'm saying? So I killed New York. Cypher Sounds. Everyone knows who Cypher Sounds is.
100%.
Cypher Sounds goes, yo, I'm going to take this show that I'm doing and I'm going to bring it on the road. You're my guy. You're one of my guys. You got to come. So I go with him. It's in Boston. Okay. I'll never forget this. It was in a kind of like in a nightclub, but they set it up like a comedy show. The place was full of people. And Cypher's hyping me up. You know, this guy's from Canada, yo, he's the next big thing, blah, blah. And I'm, you know, head swell. Some comic goes on before me, does some joke about Nintendo, and I had a similar joke. Now, obviously the comedian that I am now, if I hear something remotely similar in my set from another comic, I just change my set. Simple. But in my arrogance and in my cockiness, I was like, my shit's better. So I go up there, I do my shit. When I tell you, listen, when you're being, there's nothing more worse than a boo, and any comic that's on here will agree. There's nothing more worse than a boo than when you're telling your jokes and it's just silence, like nobody's laughing. Do you understand? That is the worst feeling. I'd rather be booed because at least it's a reaction. But bruh, I'm up there telling my jokes. First joke, no laughter. Second joke, no laughter. Now I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to hit him with my Nintendo joke. Worst mistake I ever did in my life. I do the joke. Somebody goes, did we just hear this shit? I was like, oh, God. Like, oh, God. So now, and bro, you have to do your time. Any comedian that's on here could agree. When they say you got 10 minutes, you got to do your time to get your money. Right. You got to do your time. Right. Bro, I'm 3 minutes in, bro. I'm 3 minutes in, bro. And it's the longest 3 minutes of my life, bro. And nobody's laughing. Now, here's where black people get ignorant. They don't boo you just yet. It's when they start talking during your set. This is where it gets worse. You're telling your jokes. Now everybody's breaking on to various conversation. Nobody's looking at the stage now. And I'm just like, bro. So you're not even going to look at me? This is bad. And I'm there telling my joke, hit him with the punchline. You're hearing conversation. One guy goes, ain't this nigga realize no one listening to him? No one listening to this nigga. Get him off the stage. You should have heard him. So this is 5 minutes now. I'm like, bro, I got to do another 5. This is going to be brutal.
Wow.
So now 7-minute mark. Cypher Sounds looks at me. You can see him putting his head down going, man, I thought this nigga was funny. So now Cypher waves to me. He waves like, okay, wrap it up, bro.
Yeah.
So I wrap it up, and when I tell you that walk from the stage, first of all, when you suck or you bomb, and the host comes and takes the mic and goes, give it up for that nigga there. God damn. Because Americans when you bomb, they're assholes. At least Canadians we have some compassion. You know what I mean? Like if a man bombs, Canadians are like, well, you know, at least he tried. But Americans, they'll be like, give it up for that nigga. God damn. That's the longest 7 minutes of my life. God damn it. You sure you want to be a comedian, nigga? I'm just saying, there's other jobs. You should have heard him. Just murdered my self-esteem. That walk from the stage to Cypher Sounds was the longest walk because you can see Cypher had that face like, bro, just go to the bathroom, Nick. Don't come over here. Please don't come over here. Just go to the washroom. Wash your hands. Do something. Just don't come here. And then the worst when someone knows you sucked, they come up to you and they go, bruh, what happened, Nick? You're like, you're gonna act like you know what happened. Why are you asking me? You know what I mean? It was the worst car ride home. It was the longest drive back to New York and then back to Toronto. Bro, I actually contemplated quitting. I really? Like, this is my second year in. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not. I don't have the thickness yet. I didn't develop the thick skin yet to deal with bad performances. But bruh, that was the longest ride. Because you know, when you're in a car full of comedians and comedians are recapping the show and they get to your part, they're like, yeah, man, my show, man. Hey, yo, Don, your set was fire, son. You were killing them. TRIXX, I mean, shit.
So
That's, ask anyone who bombs. That's exactly what happens. You're in a car full of comedians, and they dance around your set. Hey, Mike, your set was fire, bro. Yo, you had them rolling. TRIXX, I
TRIXX.
mean, sometimes. And then they'll say some dumb shit like that doesn't make no sense. Like, hey, TRIXX, sometimes when the grass grows, people step on it. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, that doesn't help me at all. That sucked. Say I sucked.
I hear you. Yeah, so what was the continuation? How did you overcome it? Is just the love? Is it what happened? Did anybody talk to you? What happened?
First of all, shout out to Jeff Horst, man. That's a funny dude from Detroit.
Okay.
How do you overcome that? You have to ask yourself, right? Is this what you want to do?
Yeah.
Then you need to. Me personally, how I deal with bad sets is I look at everything as a win-win. You never look at anything as a loss. For example, if you bomb, you don't want that to happen again. So you go back and you look at what you did wrong. It's a win.
Yeah.
If you do well, you want to do well again. So you go back and look and see how you can improve to do better. Everything's a win-win. You can't think of anything as a loss in comedy. So for me, I said, this is what I want to do. And as a comic, that day's coming where you're going to bomb. That's going to happen. Any good comedian bombed in their lifetime. Chappelle, Rock, all of them. There's not one comedian who is a great comedian who never bombed. You know what I'm saying? So you need to know that the greats bombed. How did they become great? That's how you got to work that out. You got to figure out what you did wrong and come back better. So I vowed the next time I go to Boston, I'm not only going to murder them, but they'll never forget who I am. And it was 10 years later when I went back to Boston. 10 years later.
I finally got them.
Well, I'm a different comedian in 10 years. After 10 years, if you're the same dude from the last time, then you're definitely in the wrong profession. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
10 years later, I got bodies on my gun. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm ready for them. So I went to Boston on a mission, bro. I mean, from start to finish. It was a murder. I even dropped the mic. I was so mad. I dropped the mic. I'm like, and that's how you do it. No, go. And then I went back to my hotel room like I don't won a heavyweight title fight. You should have seen me. I was so mad. Mad. Yeah.
Proud of you, man. Proud of you. TRIXX, I'm gonna ask you a couple more because I know you're busy. You got your lives and you got a lot of people talking to. I rate you so much.
I'm gonna be interviewing Gina Yashere on my live later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let them know. I'm gonna ask you a couple more and then I'm gonna get into my little thing called 10 and Things. 10 and Things.
What up, Jen? Jen Garcia. That's Jen Garcia. That's a bad woman right there, but that's my boy's wife, so I gotta behave myself.
Okay, just gotta say hi and keep it moving. Come on.
Continue, sir.
So, that's one of the questions I wanted to ask you where you felt like, all right, you know what? I'm king of this now. What was it the return to Boston or was there a New York Mecca or is it the Vegas trips that, I mean, you're all over. Is there one that stands out?
I'll say this. I definitely don't think I'm a king. Not yet. And I appreciate you saying that, but for me personally, I always look for ways to get better. I could get a standing O and I will still find something that I could have did better. That's just me.
Right.
I've learned never to be complacent in this business. You can't be complacent. You just can't. What made me better was definitely the trips to Vegas. Why? Because Vegas taught me a lot about America. I know that sounds weird, but it did, because when you do a show in Vegas, it's when you're on the strip, it's not locals, it's different parts of America all in one room. Do you understand? So you're gonna have people from Chicago, you're gonna have people from Philly, Atlanta, North Carolina, Texas. They're all in one room. So now you got to figure out your material to talk to all those different sectors of America. Do you understand? Right. And when I first did Vegas, it was rough. Like I didn't bomb, but it wasn't strong because I had to figure out how I can communicate to a room full of different people at once. So it took me like about a year or two to get familiarized with how America works with comedy as a Canadian, and how I can infuse, you know, my experiences coming from Canada to America to make them understand. Because Canada, I'm not saying Canada or America who's better, who's not. They're both different. Canada's more multicultural. Canada has a different variety of people. That's why Russell Peters is able to flourish the way he has, because he came up in Toronto where you got so many different ethnicities, whereas in America, white, black, Mexican, done. That's done. You know, most of the demographics. You know what I'm saying? They don't know many Filipinos there. They don't know many Argentinians there. You understand? So I had to figure out a way to write my shit broad so that I can do it anyway. Yeah. Okay.
You know, last question, then I'll get into 10 and things. Yeah. Is there a fight between comedians of, like, you know, the whole bad mind situation and things? Do you guys feel the same pressure, the same? Is that same thing going on? Do you, or have you not experienced it? It goes on?
Of course it does. I mean, I think in any profession, especially entertainment, there's always going to be people who come after you or try to slander you, or they want your spot. So they'll underhand you. I think that's in any profession, really. It is in comedy, especially. It's cutthroat in comedy. The first thing they'll tell you in comedy is that this is not a team sport. And I think it's bullshit. I think it can be a team sport. It just depends on the mentality of the person, right? So, because I got my brothers in comedy. I got like a handful of people that I fuck with, and if I ever have an opportunity to bring somebody on the road with me, I call one of those guys. It can be a team sport. It's just the mentality of the people, right? That's all it is.
All right. So one question from the audience, and that's on there right now. How do you grow your audience is what they wanted to know.
How do you grow your audience? Honestly, you got to just play to as many different audiences as possible. Once the floodgates opened for me in America, I went everywhere, bro. I didn't pick and choose. Some people pick and choose. Oh, I only want to go to New York, or I only want to go to LA. Nah, bro. I was in Columbus, Ohio. I was in Dayton, Ohio. I was in Little Rock, Arkansas. I was, you know what I mean? I'm everywhere, bro. Everywhere there's a stage, play to as many people as you can, because one, when you travel, it gives you perspective and it teaches you how to talk to everybody. And the more people you can talk to, the more people that will listen. You know what I mean?
So, that's something I want to ask you, because you travel. Suppose you travel to a lot of spots that are mainly all white audience. Is your material equipped, ready to change? Do you have to change the floor? You know?
I do, because the funny thing is, what's his name? RT. Everybody knows who RT is. A big director from Toronto. He was in Vegas one time. And he's like, I want to come to your show, man. I want to see, because he's only ever seen me in Toronto. When I'm in Toronto, it's different. You know, I could be Toronto in Toronto. But if you've only ever seen me in Toronto, then you probably think that those are, like, I'm not going to do the domino joke in Dayton, Ohio. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to do that. They don't got very much Jamaicans there. You know what I mean? But when I'm in front of an all-white audience, my material is the same, because all I did was take my material and figure out a way to write it broad for everybody. So I can do any material I have in front of any audience.
Okay.
That's how you have to get.
Listen, this is a man who, 2009, you won, you were like in the Yuck Yucks, Laugh Off, the finalists?
Yeah, I was a finalist, lost though.
I don't know how they judged that, but...
Nah, the right person, that year, the right person won.
The right person won?
Yeah.
Listen, out of how many people were there, you were the finalist. Congrats, you know what I mean? Like, straight up.
I was happy to be there, man. I was happy to be there, bro. I mean, and to be honest, I obviously wasn't the comedian I am now, but they got it right. The right guy won.
All right, all right. This is
Yeah.
TRIXX. For those who know and or should know, this is the comedian TRIXX. He's been here on Wizard's Wisdom. I appreciate you. I know you're
Oh, come
super
on, man.
busy. I thank
Anytime.
you. I thank you so much. We're waiting for the come on. You know.
Oh, that's coming later, brother.
All right. So 10 and things. You ready for 10 and things? All right.
How does 10 and things work?
All right. So I'm gonna give you a question out
Okay.
of what I made. It's nothing normal. It's 10 on things, and you just gotta think what you would do in this situation. What kind of thing you would do in this situation? Yeah.
So do I give it a number? Or I just say what I would do.
No, you answer. I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to answer.
Okay, go.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you own a hippo, you can't sell it or give it away. What do you do with it?
It can't sell it or give it away. What would I do to it?
No. Yeah.
Set it free.
You set the hippopotamus free out in the street.
Yeah.
All right. All right. If you could fly, if you could fly or be invisible, which one would you choose?
Invisible.
Invisible. Why?
Invisible. Because I could do some things with that. I could do a lot of things with being invisible, bro. Hell yeah. The hell am I gonna fly to?
All right. Tell me, do you have a food that you absolutely hate?
Oh, wow. No.
No.
No. Absolutely hate. Oh, blood pudding. Blood pudding. Like from England?
Blood pudding?
Yeah, they got a thing called blood pudding.
Yeah.
I hate that. Absolutely hate
You're
that.
not doing that.
No.
Blood pudding. So England's out. England's out right there.
I love England. Listen, no disrespect to England. I got enough for England, but I just don't like blood pudding. Hell no.
England blood pudding. England blood pudding is out.
Yeah.
All right. What's one piece of clothing you hate to wear?
Ooh. Overalls. No. Overalls? No.
All right. In school, give me a subject you hated.
Math.
Math. That's
Math.
me too.
Math.
Use the word nasty in one sentence.
When Drake locks in, he's nasty when it comes to rapping.
Okay, Drake. Big shout out to Champagne Poppy right there. If you were a shoe, which one would it be?
The Jordan 11s.
Jordan 11s.
Yeah.
You wake up tomorrow. You wake up tomorrow. God forbid this happens. Please, God. You wake up tomorrow and your bank account, your savings are all at zero. What's the first thing you do?
That sounds like today. I'm joking. What do I do? Better figure out a way to put some money in there.
You have no means because you have no money now.
That's where I'm gonna have to see who my friends really are.
So you find out who your friends are.
Yeah.
All right. All right. How many dates until you make the first move?
First, depending on the date.
The first move depending on the date.
It depends on the chemistry of the date. If the vibe is there, first date.
Yeah.
First
all right.
date. But if
this
it's
is the
not,
final. First date. Yeah. All right.
First date.
You're fast worker, no problem. All right. Here's the final scenario. You finally got the date, and now the date lets you into her house, and you see underwear on the couch, rat trap over there. She moves it and says, "Makes yourself comfortable." What do you do? All right, so if you're watching, TRIXX was just on the live. We ran out a little bit of time. Let's see if he comes back right away. There we go. There we go.
Instagram be doing that, huh? They just cut you off.
Listen,
Instagram always does that, bro.
We were pretty much finished. Everybody's logging back on real quick, real fast right now.
Well, you know what? It's good that everyone's logging on because I'm going to be interviewing. I'm going to be sitting and talking with Gina Yashere on my IG Live. I call it the Rec Room, where I talk to a different comic every day. So by all means, people
let them
tune
know
in.
where to follow. Let them know where to follow, what time, everything.
Yeah, I'm at Comedian TRIXX. It's going to be 7 o'clock Eastern time. So yeah, tune in, man, and support my album. God damn it.
Tell them what we got to do to get to your album. Let them know.
So all you got to do to get my album, all you do is just click the link in my bio. The album's $10, and yeah, man, let it get you through this quarantine time, man. We all need to laugh.
Listen, I would hope that everybody in this world would go support TRIXX, buy an album. Listen, it's been an honor, and I thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to come on.
My schedule. I mean, I don't think any of us got a schedule anymore, bro. We're home. We're home, bro.
So listen, if you can, follow him at Comedian TRIXX. Follow him, especially later today. I'll be going live at Mataran at 7:30, but I'll tune in from 7.
Shout out to Mataran. That's gonna be dope.
You know what I mean? So this is the Comedian TRIXX. Man, he's already said Vegas will soon be a home, but he'll always be Canadian to us or to me.
Of course.
And anytime you need anything, Vibe 105, yours truly, Wiz is always there. We're prepared to help you any which way that we can.
Hey, shout out to Vibe 105. Shout out to the entire squad over there, and shout out to Randy, bro. Shout out to that dude.
Right. Thanks, TRIXX. I appreciate you.
Yo, much love to you, brother.